Daniels shared his story at a symposium on health safety in Windsor. Denise Burton-Epp also spoke at the event. She specializes in addictions treatment, running a recovery center in New York. Burton-Epp has some interesting thoughts on how the healthcare industry can help people with addictions, including some lessons that we might be able to learn from domestic violence screening.
Well, particularly for clients that come in with addiction issues, they may have seen many people in their family that have kicked them out. They can't get money anymore. They may have lost their job. Their disease is very, has progressed very far. They've been shamed. They feel humiliated. They feel like they have no purpose and that they're not loved. So for someone to actually stop and love on them, talk to them like they're a human being, let them know that there is hope, let them know that there is treatment, that they can get into recovery. The goal is to break that cycle, and love is usually a good way to get through to people. And I'm not being a Pollyanna and thinking that's the only thing to do, but I will tell you, you get a lot farther loving on somebody than you do meeting them with shame and resistance and yelling at them. Usually they leave. And so the love-based piece, I can usually get people to go to treatment, I can get them to stay in treatment. As a treatment team, using our clinical skills and a love-based approach is much better than the alternative.
When you were talking today, it sounded like there's an opportunity for us to learn in the healthcare industry from the way we screen for domestic violence. How can we take that approach and put it into what we currently have for people who are experiencing addictions?
Sure. 25 years ago, when we did not screen for domestic violence, it was a grassroots initiative that got us to integrate domestic violence screening questions across healthcare in North America. And I'm suggesting now is the day for us to use those grassroots efforts, the way we did to initiate domestic violence questions, into the disease of addiction and screening for addiction. So at point of entry, we now start asking all clients in every physician office, emergency room, pre-op visit, if they've got any addiction issues, so that we know that we can intervene much earlier than waiting for people to have significant consequences. So that's how I'm suggesting the parallel be drawn.
How could that help? What type of impact would that have on a healthcare industry when people are trying to help people with addictions?
Well, right now we help people when they are in a catastrophic situation, when they get a DUI and are brought to an emergency room, or they've been in an accident, or they have withdrawal in a post-op situation, or they come into the emergency room with a GI bleed and we're having to give them significant transfusions, things like that. Screening on the front end, when you're in a practitioner's office, gives you some idea, drawing lab values around liver function tests, really validating what somebody is saying to you, interviewing families if we think somebody is not being truthful with us, has the ability to decrease use at the very beginning of the situation. We know the evidence says that practitioners who actually counsel around addiction and alcohol will decrease use. And if you involve the family, the chances are much greater. And again, getting additional information from a family, you'd know if you have to intervene on somebody instead of waiting until that catastrophe strikes, which then costs us a lot more from a healthcare delivery perspective.